So on behalf of the Board of Trustees and the Opus Sancti Selection Committee, St. Thomas Academy is proud to honor Father Dease as the 2013 recipient of the Opus Sancti Thomae Medal. Father Dease. The Latin inscription on Father Dease's medal is the St. Thomas Academy motto, Ex umbris in veritatem, out of darkness into truth. Father Dease.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Sister Andrea Lee, for your kind words. As Sister indicated, we have enjoyed a close working relationship over the years, and I felt very honored that you would be here this evening to introduce me. And I'm relieved and grateful that you chose the high road and focused on some of my good points and glossed narrowly over my weak points, Andrea. It's remarkable what the promise of a pledge to a St. K's annual giving can accomplish. Thank you. I truly feel honored to receive the Opus Sancti Award, but to be honest with you, when my good friend Tom Hesch, a college classmate, I might add, informed me about it, I thought that there must have been a mistake somewhere, because I'm not a graduate of the Academy. I spent only 1 year here teaching on the faculty, and I served only in a very minor role on the board of trustees back in the late 70s and early 80s, and rejoined the board only last year, and am therefore still a very junior trustee. But you know Tom, he assured me that the selection committee had not heard it, and he also suggested that he could make life rather unpleasant for me if I did not agree to accept the award. And as we have been friends since sophomore year in college, and he knows therefore a few things about me that would better be left unsaid. Hence, I stand before you this evening grateful for the award. Sincerely, I do wish to offer my thanks to the selection committee, to the board of trustees, to the chair of the board, Jim Kohler, and to Peter and Mary Redden, who generously endowed the award for this honor. 110 years ago, it'll be 110 years in January, it was January 20, 1904, the great Irish poet William Butler Yeats visited St. Thomas. He dined with the young president, Humphrey Moynihan, who was in his second year. That night, the temperature fell to approximately -25. next morning, Yates caught the train out of St. Paul and never came back. And I like to think that perhaps it was during that visit that the poet came upon just the right metaphor to capture the true purpose of education. Because he put pen to paper and he wrote these words: education is not about filling a bucket, but lighting a fire. And it's hard to believe that 43 years have passed since I first undertook that effort in the classrooms right here at St. Thomas, teaching senior religion. And it was a great learning experience for a very green teacher in his first year, if not for my students. Truth be told, I have never worked harder in my life, before or since, than I did that year when I served under faculty. And to this day, there is no one whom I admire more than a master teacher. During that year that I taught here, I was privileged to get to know and to observe some of the finest gentlemen scholars one could ever hope to meet. Men who knew that at the heart of teaching was lighting the fire. People like Father Tom Kohler, who designed this handsome medal, Jen Keene, who's with us tonight from the Department of English, the late Mark Bassett, who taught world history, Jim Byrne, Latin, Joe O'Brien, English, Skip McMahon, math, Jack Campbell, math, George Schnell, foreign language. I also became friends that year with a young priest by the name of William Bullock, who had been a religion teacher here at St. Thomas, and the year I taught here was academy headmaster. He ultimately became the bishop of Madison and passed away 2 years ago. He was one of the finest priests I have ever known, and for me was a wise mentor and a superb role model. Legacy teachers and administrators such as these created the very special culture that sets St. Thomas apart. And that tradition of excellence continues to this very day. Here, you'll still find the genuinely dedicated teaching faculty, second to none in applying their craft, who are also exemplary role models. Chief among those, of course, is our current headmaster, Tom Misch, who will retire next spring after a decade of sterling leadership. I am personally indebted to Tom, as it was he, in fact, who back in the year 1970 persuaded me to accept a teaching position at the Academy, which for me led to a lifetime in Catholic education. My years in education have not always been tranquil, as Sister alluded to. There have been times during academic controversies or capital campaigns or just fights with the neighbors when I ask myself, Dease, what did you get yourself into? But then I would think of, again, that Irish poet who got out of town so fast when it got cold that night, W.B. Yeats, and his observation about lighting the fire, and sometimes fires do get out of control, and I guess that's normal, and I find myself looking to another verse of Yeats's that was even more consoling, his observation about my ethnic kinsman. He wrote, being Irish, he had an abiding sense of tragedy, which sustained him through temporary periods of joy. I'm Irish, and I always found those words inspiring. Well, I'm inspired too by the beauty of your new Vincent Flynn Hall. You are certainly to be commended for your generosity and to be congratulated for your success in bringing this all together and making a vision reality. It is stunning. And as many of you did, I knew Vince Flynn, and I knew that he was proud of his St. Thomas educations, first at the academy, then at the university, and we were both blessed to have called him one of our own. I can say the same about Jack Czar, who upon receiving his bachelor's degree from St. Thomas in 1977, arrived here and never left. 36 years as a teacher, a coach, and administrator. Jack, too, was a remarkable man, and with Vince will long be remembered as among our finest. Faculty like Jack have thrived here and have remained involved here because they have believed in the mission of the Academy. Academics of the highest quality, in a commitment to values rooted in the Catholic wisdom tradition, and in nurturing young lives. It was in this way that they lived out the Academy's motto, which is printed on this medal, Ex Opus in Veritatem, out of the shadows into the truth. I am fond of reading mission statements. I suppose that makes me a bit strange, but I believe that they can tell you a lot about a school. The Academy's statement concludes with the words, and I quote, instills an awareness of the importance of service to others, end of quote. That last phrase is strikingly similar to the closing words of the mission of the University of St. Thomas, which are, and I quote, to advance the common good, end of quote. Well, I just want to say that you model splendidly here at St. Thomas Academy to be of service to others, to advance the common good, and that is why I feel so very honored this evening to accept the Opus Sancti Thomae Award. God bless you and all that you do. Thank you.